Amid the scorching sands of Saqqara, Egypt, there exists a small object that has sparked debate for more than a century: the Saqqara Bird. Barely the length of a human hand, this wooden model looks less like a bird and more like a glider. It has no flapping wings, no feathers, and no horizontal tail like a real bird, only clean lines and a strangely aerodynamic form. Was it merely a child's toy, or did it represent something far more ambitious? And if this model was never meant to stay small, what if the ancient Egyptians imagined it scaled up into a full-size glider, capable of carrying a human? Discovered at the Saqqara necropolis and dated to around the 2nd century BCE. The Saqqara bird is carved from wood with a wingspan of approximately 14 to 18 centimeters. Its straight, slightly curved wings resemble those of a glider rather than a natural bird. Most strikingly, it lacks a horizontal tailplane, instead featuring a thick vertical tail whose function remains debated: bird tail or rudder. Today, most scholars interpret the object as a toy, decorative piece, or religious symbol, not a flying machine. Yet its unusual aerodynamic geometry continues to raise unanswered questions.
This is remarkable. The structural integrity of the adhesive is still present after all this time. We are beginning the scanning sequence now.
If ancient Egyptian craftsmen had scaled the design up, a full-size version might have featured a wingspan of 8 to 12 meters, a fuselage length of 4 to 6 meters, and enough lift to carry a single pilot with minimal cargo. Built from cedar or sycamore wood, its wings could have been covered in stretched linen fabric, bound with rope, resin, and animal sinew. However, the original design presents a critical flaw: the absence of a horizontal tail, making stable flight extremely difficult. Without modification, such a glider would be prone to sudden dives or stalls. To truly fly, the design would have required structural changes, longer, thinner wings, or the addition of a simple tailplane.
We're looking at the main spar retention. Mineralization is significant here, consistent with long-term anaerobic decay. Now taking a sample.
With ancient technology, this glider could only be launched from high ground, cliffs, desert slopes, or large structures. Control would rely almost entirely on shifting body weight, with limited directional input from a simple rudder. Flight would be short, low, and highly dependent on favorable winds. Landing would resemble a controlled fall rather than sustained flight, with soft desert sand offering the only chance of survival. This was never a practical vehicle. It was a high-risk experiment balanced between curiosity and catastrophe. Whether the Saqqara Bird ever inspired real flight is ultimately less important than what it represents. It reveals an ancient mindset willing to imagine what lay beyond human limits. Perhaps it was not about conquering the sky through engineering, but about symbolic ascent, humans rising like Horus, souls soaring toward the sun god Ra. At the intersection of science, ritual, and imagination, the Saqqara Bird endures. It does not prove that ancient Egyptians flew, but it proves they dared to dream of flying.